What is up, Card Breaker Nation? We are officially on episode 27, aka Mike Trout's number. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I had to come on for the show for y'all. We have a nice little action-packed show today, and I wanted to brag about my Yankees a little bit. 11-3, no big deal. Volpe's him. I love Juan Soto. Chris, Tom, how we feeling?
Feeling, man. Episode 27, one more show than your boy Saquon. 26. Just kidding. Yeah, man. Action-packed show, man. CK's got the page all weekend, man. Myself and Danish heading off to Orlando for a work conference. Be
And I
chilling out
have
there,
one.
man.
I'm taking over next week, and by the way,
And
too.
Gilly's ripping next week, bro. Myself and CK are away, man. So how you feeling, CK? Chilling, chilling. Let's go.
T vibes, the
Think I was
vibes.
just
Were you muted the whole time? Damn, bro. You got to redo your whole thing now.
yeah, no. It was blah blah blah. Trying to close breaks fast for the nation. 'Cause I love that.
Let's go.
You summed it all down. All right, so we're gonna go straight into our first topic, which is Topps has actually produced a Topps Now card of the solar eclipse that happened on April 8th. Also with this, you know how they usually have, the out of 75s, 50s, 25s that always show all the cards. This specific set, actually, there are also 100 glow in the dark parallels that are going to be shipping randomly as well. This is honestly a pretty sick card. It's going to have a pretty high print count because you don't see solar eclipse every so often. You see it, whatever, every 40 years, something like that. Where I was personally, it sucked. I wanted to look at it, but it got cloudy as soon as it happened. Did you guys see it by you?
Yeah, I mean, they were saying we were supposed to be like 95% blackout. We maybe hit 50. Like it got a little dim. Wasn't like, I saw the Guardians, their opening day ceremonies. It was
That was
hitting
insane.
right as it was happening. So that was dope. Shout out to the guys in Cleveland, man. That was wild. But overall, man, the first solar eclipse in what, like 7, 8 years. Eclipses happen a little more often, lunar way more often than solar, but still dope
Okay.
nonetheless. Full coverage. It was fire. It was fire. Put positive vibes, man. Got to put those positive vibes in there with these solar eclipses. Something with the stars and everything aligning. The wife told me all this stuff, bro. I just looked up and said car breakers to the moon, and we were good to go.
It was
Oh
funny.
Jesus, is she an astrology head?
No, no, no. She's just into positive, positive vibes. You put out in the world what you get back, man.
I agree with that 100%. It's a beautiful message.
Yeah, shout out to her. She got us all those glasses so we could watch it. Watch it. I did
Oh,
Yeah,
have
she
the
did.
attic.
I tried driving with them, bro. It was not fun.
Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy how you can't see shit. You really can't see
Nothing.
nothing, man. Like,
You
damn.
stare straight at it and it's just a white dot. Like that's it.
No, the best is like everybody's like putting it on and trying to like walk out the glass doors. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, boom.
It reminded me of getting like the stuff in your eyes at the optometrist, bro, and they send you out with those big dark sunglasses. They're like, don't look at the sun for like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh yeah, like when
With
they like
these, we're
dilate
staring
your
right at it.
eyes.
Yeah, yeah. It was like, I'm like, oh, I
Yes.
forgot mine. I didn't even get to use them for at work. I'm trying to look at it like this, like trying to look up and see like through my eye, like my fingers. Like it just didn't work. So I was like, yeah, there'll be another one before I die. So I'll see the next one.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so on topic number two, definitely more entertaining topic than this one. eBay has officially announced their acquisition of Golden Auctions. Golden was previously owned by Collectors, the same holding company that owns PSA. As a part of this acquisition, PSA is also entering a partnership with eBay. Their service with eBay is as follows. They will now offer a service that allows customers to list and sell cards while a card is still in the grading process, and this will drastically decrease the time it takes to sell a card after submitting it to PSA. Tom, what's your thoughts about this?
I'm kind of wondering how this is all going to work, right? Like you're listing a card during its grading process. So one of two things that is fearful of this is A, do we know the grade before it becomes for sale? And B, are you going to start prioritizing your eBay vault cards over the rest of the world that's submitting your stuff every day? So those are the two things that I'm a little on the fence about. Shout out to eBay and PSA. I mean, it was kind of with the collector's stuff and everything, it was kind of coming, I think. What I'm saying, with the merger. Everybody's just merging together, trying to make these massive conglomerates right now in the card
Except
space,
Beckett.
bro. Except Beckett, which I think we're getting to them too at some point in this show too. So interesting concept. I mean, it's definitely good for those day-to-day flippers, those guys that are constantly ripping with, especially the dudes that are jumping in breaks and just submitting 50 to 100 cards, and they're trying to sell just graded slabs. Like that's their go-to. Could be huge for them. But I want to see what that's going to do to your standard turnaround times, how they're going to handle these cards over your everyday submissions, and how does the whole process kind of work? How are you going to get something to market quicker when you're still taking 3 to 4 months to grade a 2 month submission? So where are we going to go with that, man? So that's kind of my stance. What about you guys? What do you think?
Definitely have some questions.
Yeah, thanks, CK.
Like you said, process. Maybe it's like once there is a grade available, they could put. I don't know how to work, but I mean, maybe instead of them like grading it and having to mail it back to you, they. But I do think the bigger concern is the prioritization. Now I know PSA hired a bunch of people, and it seems like the grades have become a little more lenient because they have more graders, maybe. But I am wondering that part because we've done submissions that like our like third and fourth submission of a month should not beat the first submission of the month, and that happens all the time, right? Like we'll turn something back, get it back 2-3 weeks, and then meanwhile, the first submission we sent of the month is 2 months behind. So I'm definitely curious on how they're gonna. But all in all, if it's a better experience for the buyer for the hobby, I'm all for it. But we'll have to wait and see.
For sure.
Yeah, I just don't understand how you can list a card that's already in grading. That's where I'm confused about here. So I don't understand. It's like you list a card while it's in grading. Wow. Does eBay automatically does eBay automatically update what it is at? And how are you gonna, especially on like a buyer's end, how are you gonna buy a card that's currently being graded? Because what if you're paying a PSA 10 price for a PSA 8? That's kind of like the line here, or like I don't know. It's hella weird.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more like once the grade is ready, you're just using the stock photos that they put on your PSA, that you get from PSA when it's
Oh
like
yeah,
grades ready, right? You can say, oh, okay, here's the card, here's directly from PSA. You can go check the certification, da 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 da. But how much? What are you speeding up the process of getting it to market by like what, a week and a half while you'd wait to have the card back in your hand? That's about the only way I can see it working, without, unless it's a drop ship type deal. Like, okay, cool, I sold it. Here's who you said. I don't know. A lot of questions. Interesting concept of them coming together. But I definitely need to see how you plan on implementing this without kind of giving the short end of the stick to everyone else.
and I'm
Would
curious personally how it's going to work on our end too, because we do the eBay breaks. I'm curious if there's going to be like an option where they can send a card from our break to get graded by PSA. I'm wondering like what that's going to entail for
you mean
us.
like the whatnot model where they tried that for a
Yup.
little bit, didn't work with them at all. Like it was way too
I bet they
difficult.
still did it.
I think they do, but I've literally talked to probably 20 or 30 people that are like, bro, I'd never do it. Give it to me, get it in my hand, I'll submit it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't play that game because now you don't know if the card got prepped properly. You don't know if it got sent in properly. You don't know if it got packaged properly. There's too many open-ended questions.
So
That's why I
many.
don't think any, and it was another, what, $15? Like for that $15 extra, you're getting a full, like, clean and prep service from our guy, right? Our clean and prep guy who's phenomenal. and can, try to get the best grade possible. And we know that that's happening because we're submitting it, we're getting them, they're packaged up, they're ready to go, and then they go to PSA. So I mean, I get it, but that would be interesting. But again, it's a lot of logistical pieces, and you've got to put a lot of trust in your breaker, which, our group trusts us, and we make sure that they continue to trust us. But those guys out there, like, oh, I got lost on the way to PSA. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's too many open-ended questions. I physically, it's got to be in my hand. I want to touch it. I want to take a look at it and say, okay, based on what I see off camera, physically in my hand with a microscope or with a, some type of, looking at it, that it's the condition that I think it is, and that I'm going to submit it with that condition.
I do see what they're going for, like trying to make it a little quicker. Because if you think about the process of flipping cards, it's a process, right? You hit a card in a break, or you buy it at a show, whatever. You then send it into PSA. You then have to wait for it to come back. Then have to get it graded.
No, I get it. It should speed the whole process up, but I don't think it's saving enough time for me to not want to like I said,
No,
physically have the card first. So.
Yeah.
What's funny, Gilly?
No.
Yeah, you don't look at the chat.
Okay.
Don't look at the chat. We still love you anyways, Sally. Let's go.
Oh, I gotta look at the chat.
No, don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat. It's not worth it.
He's looking at the chat. I can tell he's looking down. Next subject. Go, 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 go. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
nah, so I'll be saying the most wild.
Can't have a party without Corona, man. That's what I'm telling you.
All right, so on our next topic, the Fanatics Live PSA partnership is actually officially underway. If you're a part of the PSA Collectors Club, you should have received an email on April 6th with them giving you a $60 credit. The only reason why I know this is because we're a part of the PSA Collectors Club for when we do our submissions and whatnot and all that stuff. So, yeah, if you are a part of the PSA partnership, PSA Collectors Club, definitely check your emails. You might have $60 in Fanatics Live break credit there. And if this clip somehow reaches Fanatics, please put us on Fanatics Live. I'm begging you. I know you're having a show by us. We're going to be talking about that later. Please, 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 please put us on Fanatics Live. We do nothing but great things there.
Gilly's moving back to Jersey if we get on Fanatics Live, man. So,
hell yeah.
Fanatics Live, you hold the key to getting us Gilly back into the dirty Jersey.
Fanatics Live, I'll make that my baby. That's all mine.
Gilly Live.
Gilly Group Breaks on Fanatics Live, potentially. We'll see. Who knows?
You're not going to keep the Card Breakers name, bro?
It'd be Gilly's Group Breaks, a Card Breakers production.
All right, we're going to talk about this offline.
No, I'm joking. It'd be Card Breakers. It would be Card Breakers.
No, I know. Oh, brother. But yeah, shout out another merger, another partnership. PSA getting into everybody's pockets. Let's go. Fanatics Live, eBay. Let's do it. Let's do a partnership with Card Breakers, man, and give us 5-day service on anything that we submit. I'll sign a contract. Let's go.
Sign your soul to the devil. All right, on topic 4, which is actually someone who's not partnering up with anybody, which I don't get. Beckett has announced that they will not be changing their grading scale. This comes 1 year after changing them and then immediately changing them back. They officially confirmed that they will not be changing their grading scale from what it has historically been. They're just trying to save face. They're just trying to find reasons for people to still grade with them, this, that, and the third. This is kind of a nothing story to me. It's just them kind of still trying to stay relevant because really nobody's like grading with Beckett anymore unless you have like a thick card.
Yeah, like Chris said, the subgrades are phenomenal. Like if you're grading, awesome. you're grading a big thick patch, 180, 140 point. To be like, all right, cool. Like the edges might get a 9, but the surface is a 10. The corners are a 10. The stuff like that. So yeah, I agree. I just wish that they would kind of don't worry about your grading scale. Worry about the slab design. Like it's a little too clunky for me still, especially with PSA, especially even HTA came out with a lighter weight. Even your SGC slabs, as much as they look a little bigger, are still more lightweight. Like carrying a Beckett slab, you know you're carrying a Beckett slab around with you when you're carrying it. But yeah, shout out to Beckett. Business as usual.
Literally business as usual. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. But
Well, that's like what they have to their
topic number,
advantage, right? It's like the
yeah,
think of like I know when we were kids growing up, Beckett. So there's like a you know, it's hard for them to make a switch. They make a switch and people would be weirded out. But I do agree that like the clunkiness they can do something about, and I think that maybe not make it so fragile so it doesn't break. Like, I see more broken Beckett slabs than any other slabs. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and for being that thick and heavy, how?
yeah,
Why? What are you using? Like freaking super recycled thin plastic?
they're
Like
like the iPhones,
it's tough.
but only because they break.
Yes, right. No, I agree. It's tough. If anything, like I think if PSA came out with subgrades, like they can pretty much put Beckett out of business. Like, like it's literally, I think it's the only thing that keeps them still rocking is the subgrades.
I think a lot of the older heads still like Beckett, just what they know.
Right,
But I agree though.
right. Yeah, but you're talking old heads, you're talking 50s, 60s, 70s guys. Like, how much more time in collecting they got? Are you just going to kind of fade off into the sunset, or is that your plan? Or are you trying to figure out something to kind of save some longevity in this market, which we all love and cherish?
agreed. All right. So on to topic number 5, shout out to Jeff Wilson, shout out to Sports Card Investor. He actually just released a book that you can buy off of Amazon that is called Sports Collecting and Investing for Dummies. I think this is a fantastic idea. I'm surprised it took somebody this long to even make a book about it. I know the quote unquote for dummies thing has been around for a little bit and has a little bit of a stigma to it, but I mean, me personally being on the PG today, there are a lot of new people that don't understand entirely what's going on. And that's okay. Because me personally, as a part of my job here, I like to inform people and help people. I mean, shit, there's even times where I'm on my personal account and I have people hitting me up asking me about concert cards. And you know what? I just do it because I love sports cards. It's a passion of mine, it's a hobby of mine. And I just like to see more people getting into the hobby, and this is a way that's very accessible and easy for people to make it into the hobby and get into the hobby.
Yeah, no, it's good to put pen to paper with some stuff like this because there's so many different angles you can attack this at, right? You can attack it as you're the grading guy. You can attack it as you're just the bulk guy. You can attack it as you're the variety guy. You're the guy that frequents every show and sells only at shows, or you're the guy that sells strictly on eBay. And I think being able to kind of, give somebody like a clearer path of how to get there should be cool. It's going to always help the hobby. Now, is it going to create a bunch of crazy kids like it did with the sneaker industry, where you've got 50 million kids are going to go out and buy this book and think that they run the world? You could see some of that too, but on the flip, that might even help you get some better deals when these people get in over their heads and then have some cards for sale and they got to liquidate some stock. So I'm definitely probably going to look at it. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but maybe I'll get like the ebook and have it dictated to me while I drive to work or something. It's interesting to read about and hear about it. But yeah, man, what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think that's cool. Audiobook, I think that's the thing nowadays. They can make the audiobook thing cool, but it's great. I think a lot of the time people hear about flipping and different cars that are selling for this and that. They come in, they just drop a crap ton of money on anything. Then when they realize they've spent all this money and it's not worth much, they're like, "What the hell?" And they get turned off from the hobby. And it's hard to especially from our perspective. We get new people coming in. We try our best to kind of guide them a little bit, but it's hard for people like us who are busy trying to run the group and run the operation, sometimes you don't have enough time to spend individually with these people. Then you got guys like Nathan Heedy and the Concierge, who are basically doing something similar, right? Trying to teach people the ropes. And for people who would rather do it on their own, this could be a nice little guide. What it says in there, I don't know. We will judge that after we actually come across it, if we ever do. But in theory, I think it's cool. I think it's good for the hobby. I think if people, obviously for him, it's a nice, quick way to make money, but it's also a good way to, you know, kind of, I guess, let people come in, know what to look for, so that they can get the experience, instead of just stepping shit and it was wrong shit. Genius marketing strategy.
Exactly.
Because think about this: if this does well, which I think it will, he's got good marketing, obviously.
I think he's already on the Amazon books bestsellers, to be completely honest with you.
So if that's the case, all these people that may be new to the hobby are now going to think of him as the, you almost kind of solidify yourself.
Low key though, if we're gonna be honest here, Jeff Wilson kind of is the dude.
Oh no, and he is, and we've met him at shows. He's a grinder, bro. He grinds. I respect the effort, the content, the work he puts in, because regardless of whether he's got a vested interest or not, all I care about is he's trying for the hobby. He's trying to grow the hobby. He's trying to, and if the hobby's doing better, it's better for all of us. So it's cool with me.
Nice. Yep, number one bestseller in the antiques and collectibles and sports card books market. Yep.
Really?
Nice guy.
Yep.
Dude.
That's awesome. Yeah, Sal said I have sure learned a lot more because of you guys, so I think you have a good break group. You need no book. We appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts, Sal. Thank you.
Sally, my boy.
Also, yeah, and we have a first, and for our next topic, we have a first look from Topps, for Topps Heritage. Henry Davis has added a special edition to his upcoming jersey numbered Heritage Auto. So this one is the 37 out of 75. Put a little heart next to the 75.
Is it 32?
Pretty dope. Is it 32?
Yeah, 32. It's a jersey
32.
number.
Yeah, it's 32. Yeah, I thought it was 37. That's my fault.
He's
so good. He's so fucking good.
No, I meant you're sick.
Yeah, no, but I am sick, but he's sick too.
He's not, yeah.
You know, he's going to be one of the top catchers in the league here in a couple of years, honestly. So I love just seeing like inscriptions and stuff from any card, any auto. Yeah.
Now it's a 101, right?
It is a 101, yeah.
You could definitely use the help in that product. I ripped a half case of it earlier. It's tough, bro. Like, if you hit, it's not bad, right? Like, I think for the price of the break, right? For the price of the buying of the, it's a cheap product. If you hit something in there, it's not bad, but it's tough to hit. You got to figure you're guaranteed one auto or relic. And of the 6 boxes we did earlier, 3 of them had autos, 3 had relics. So to hit one of these, it's tough, man. You got to open a lot of these boxes. Granted, it is cheap, but so it's worth doing if you hit. But if you don't hit, it's a pretty long, basic ass break.
And you got 1,296 chances and a half case of the player you're looking for.
That's it.
You know, for sure. All right, on to the next topic. Angel Reese has also signed a Panini exclusive deal for cards and memorabilia. We were talking about a couple of weeks ago with Caitlin Clark, and now Angel Reese has joined the board. So now it seems like that the WNBA for Prism is starting to take some shift, some notice, as I like to call it. It's starting to round out. It's definitely starting to round out a lot, and a lot of people. They have this rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and how I personally see it, how they're trying to hype it up and how they're trying to market it. They're trying to market it as a modern Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson. That's how I see they're trying to market it. I personally don't believe that. I think they're trying to do it to get the WNBA more attention because they're both going to be drafted here in the following weeks. But regardless of my opinion, Angel Reese, she's a baller. Caitlin Clark, she's a baller. So honestly, for anyone that's gonna be hopping in WNBA breaks, it's now you have more shots at different players instead of just Caitlin Clark, and hopefully in the break wise with PYTs, stuff should be a little bit more evened out. Yeah, no, I agree. Clark is better than Reese too, but like I said, they're trying to market it as like a Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird kind of deal. But I just don't see it like that. I could see it in the fact of they actually might make the WNBA more popular, but you have to realize back in the 70s and 80s when they were talking about Magic and Bird, they were very, it was very close to segregation and they made it a racial thing. With this, I don't think it's a racial thing at all. I don't see any color when it comes to basketball or anything, as a matter of fact. But yeah, now that's how they're trying to play it off as the media and all that shit. But I just see that. I just see it as they're both ballers and they're both going to be good for the WNBA, and the WNBA needs star power in there. To be completely honest with you, I saw something that Caitlin Clark's going to, the Indiana Fever, who are going to draft Caitlin Clark. 90% of their games are nationally televised. That's insane. That's literally insane.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have some WNBA breaks next year. It's a loaded draft class. You know, these two, the absolute studs. Studs works, yeah, absolute studs. It's gonna be a fun rip for sure. And there's still some other mid-level girls that are looking really good that are gonna be up in this draft too. So Panini, keep the prices where they've been and let us load up for everybody. But I could see
Oh,
them trying.
With Caitlin Clark in the
Yeah,
product, this shit skyrocketing. This is our
yeah.
last hoorah for
Are we
basketball. This is
gonna are
sky.
we gonna see like $1,000 WNBA Prism box? Like, that's my only fear is that they see the dollar signs and they try to really attack that. I still think the market's not going to be it's not any NBA market like you've seen for breaks, but it is sick what these two have done this year, and it's going to be I think an epic. You pretty much know your top five in this draft already. If you've watched any of the college basketball games, you pretty much know who's going where, and pretty much you can almost guess where they're going. Based on draft capital and all that stuff. So I think it's going to be wild, man. Caitlin's a freaking wild. Angel Reese was balling out in the finals. So yeah, man.
What do you think, CK?
I think it's cool. I mean, I think with some of the women at a college basketball are doing is great for their sport. It's great for the women's basketball. The market's not nearly as big for the women's as it is for the men, and stuff like this helps, man. A little bit of drama, a little bit of action, it gets people interested. The perspective I look at it though, with Panini making these moves, it does seem like maybe they're a little worried. They have that lawsuit with Fanatics about the monopoly stuff. So at the very least, this seems like a what could we do now to change what's going on? We see Fanatics is trying to sign top talent for every one of the major sport drafts like right away. They're trying to get it done, and so they're like, what could we do in the meantime? Oh, let's grab this, let's grab that, trying to beat them to the punch on other things. All right, you're taking this, we're gonna take that. So, not to say that they shouldn't do it. I think it's great, but from my perspective, it's like, because of if they had a lot of confidence in the monopoly going the other way, would they be so aggressive? I don't know. I think they should, again, because I think that what these two have done for college basketball is women's college basketball is great. I think it's real cool. It's exciting. I mean, even look at the colors. Like you talk about the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson kind of little rivalry thing, and LSU purple and gold, just like the Lakers. It's kind of set up. You know what I mean? Like you look at this. This looks like it gives you those vibes, like vibes. So,
I feel you.
Overall, I think it's cool, but I do from the other end kind of wonder like, what is Panini?
Well, I mean, they're not losing that license in 2026,
Right.
so maybe they're just like, all right, cool, we're going to be the WNBA
And
/ unlicensed everything
do
people.
what
Like,
you do.
okay.
But in the meantime, there's obviously a pretty large gap, and I think it's going to take more time than just this to kind of close that gap. But do what you do. You still got to make money as a company. You still got to eat, and it's a very smart move. I think WNBA and college basketball, women's basketball in general, has a lot of upside at some point. But you know, we think about it from a business perspective every time. So it's like, but all in all, it's cool.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, it's gonna be sick. All right, so on to our next topic. This is a big one. Fanatics has officially announced their own festival called Fanatics Fest. It will be happening on August 16th to 18th in New York City at the Javits Center. This includes interactive experiences, merch drops, product releases, panels, screenings, and appearances from legends and today's sports stars. To give you an example, I was looking at the list. Brady, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Hulk Hogan, Sabrina Ionesco. Those are just some of the people that are going to be there. You have their own Breakers Pavilion. There's a whole entire sports card memorabilia market, like a sports card memorabilia, like the fuck's it called? Museum there. It's going to be sick. It's going to be insane. This is falling right on my birthday weekend. I can't wait, bro. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, it's only a couple weeks after the national too. So
that a lot of people aren't happy about that. A lot of people are not happy that it is so close to the national.
right. Um, Fanatics is a marketing juggernaut, period. This show's gonna do well, and I'm surprised you didn't talk about Jeter, bro. Your Yankees, Jeter.
Oh yeah, Jeets is gonna be
you
there.
Want to bring Jeets up, bro? But
Jeets.
Cool. The me as a breaker, me as somebody that's been doing this for a little while with CK and Gilly and Danish, like they have a breaker pavilion, but it's Fanatics Live only. Like, don't you want to start kind of getting some more people? Like, isn't your plan to grow this platform and not just all they're doing is cherry picking right now. They're picking what they want, and they're not kind of trying to bring your mid to medium to large size break groups. They're just saying, I want you, I'll take you, which is cool, I guess, for them. But how are you really going to try to grow this brand and get more breakers in if you're not opening your doors in this 92 draft prospect? And let these people in to kind of get in the door. Like you said, we'll probably end up. I mean, I'm almost positive we're gonna end up going. It's like an hour and a half drive, I think, to where it's at. And try to rub shoulders.
I wouldn't even drive there. I would just take the train. I love Javits Center, man. I love going to Javits Center.
Yeah, you want to rub shoulders with the big people. Like, you want to meet these guys on the panel. You want to talk to the guys from Fanatic Live and like, well, what are you looking for? Like, what do you need? Instead of just turning a blind eye to whoever you feel like and just taking the, like I said, cherry picking the top people, man. You're just asking for problems when it comes down
it's
the road.
on my birthday. You'll see me there. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. No, but again, cool concept. I like the fact that they really mixed it up with the, the people that are going to be there. You got Hogan and, like you said, Brady, a little bit of everything. Some of the biggest names in each sport.
I would love to meet Hulk Hogan. That'd be fire.
What are you gonna do, brother?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, it seems exciting, man. They look at the people on this poster. You're gonna put those pictures on a poster. It better be bugging big, and I'm down. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be there.
Gary V gonna be there.
Yeah, Gary V's there too.
Yep.
It is kind of crazy though, like that close to the national. Telling the national you're next. You're coming for them next. They take over that too. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's a big dick move.
It is.
Well, BDE.
Big dick energy.
BDE. All right. So on to our next topic. Topps now has dropped game used relics from Jackson Holliday's first RBI in his debut game. This is specifically from the first base. They sold out immediately at $325. You can still buy the regular card on their website. I am not shocked that these cards sold out right away because Jackson Holliday is the real deal. As a Yankees fan, I am petrified of this dude being in my division. Did not think he was going to get called up already. I'm petrified. I'm scared. I'm nervous. This kid's an animal. Him, Adley, Gunner. And I'm scared of the Orioles. The Orioles terrify me. I'm scared.
Yeah, CK is our resident MLB man. What do you think from what you've seen on his like his reels and what he's done so far, even through the coming up?
Well, I haven't watched a ton on him, but I haven't had to. Just hear about this kid constantly, and you see how good their team was last year. Young guy, a lot of young dudes. Adley Rushman, all these guys coming up. It's young dudes. They're competing. They're playing well. This kid has as good as those guys are that came up last year. This kid has had even more hype. They've seen these guys perform and still are hyping up this kid. When he didn't make the team at the end of spring training, everybody was like, "What the?" Everybody was scratching their head. You don't even have to watch him to hear how highly everybody thinks of him. We know his dad, obviously, very good player, all that. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this kid can do. And on top of that, one thing about Baltimore, but very hitter friendly park, extremely hitter friendly. It's small. It gets really hot and humid. Up here in the Northeast, a lot of humidity. Close to the water out there in Baltimore. It's just, so a lot of upside. Things. I think that division is going to be exciting this year. We'll see if there's anyone else that steps up. We know Toronto competitive. The Red Sox started off okay. I don't know if they have the depth, but Baltimore, bro, they're the ones. They're the ones who could pull out a little surprise action.
Mm-hmm. On the same
Agreed.
note, though, we also got a first look at Jackson Holiday's MLB debut patch last night. And as we all know, we know what product it's going in. This card is going to sell for an insane amount of money.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little disappointed in the lack of chase
Cue
of
up that
those.
picture, though. Yeah, I was too. Yeah.
At least like for our group, I thought more people would be into. We ended up having to get rid of some of the stuff we. I know it's hard to hit, but you do hit one. It's epic, bro. It's like the true one of any one of ones of all one of ones. Like, you watch the guy's game and you see the patch on his arm. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I thought that was a really cool
Yeah.
You
concept.
now own that
And
patch.
I'm sure there was
Yeah.
a big chase elsewhere, but not really, because even after we got it, the price dropped, which typically indicates a lack of demand. I know people are still trying now. Even us, we're doing like, you know, we bring them out every once in a while as filler product. But yeah, I thought that'd be. I was a little disappointed. Maybe that'll change with Jackson Holiday entering the product for next or for this year's. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
So,
especially with some of the biggest debut patches have still not been hit. Like,
like Jackson
Volpe,
Churio hasn't been hit yet.
Churio hasn't been hit. Cody Senga's sold for $26,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was some no-name guy that probably won't even get called up, sold for 6 or 7K. So the money's
and
there.
it's not like
It's
it's not even an
difficult,
expensive product.
right? The jumbos with 3 autos, you're talking what, 250, $300 box. Like all day long, you're getting 3 to 4 out. You're getting three, 4 hits. Plenty of color. But yeah, I agree, man. Dude, I remember we were talking about when Chrome Update was coming out. I'm like, bro, we need to load up on this. This stuff is going to be hot. The price is great. It's a product that you can rip tons of it, and you're gonna at least walk away with stuff that you're happy with for if you're a PC guy, or you're gonna have enough product. You're jumping in a half case or a full case of jumbos. You're getting a stack of cards like this for every team. Like you're going to have enough stuff to be able to decide if you're going to grade it or quick sell raw on some of these things. And the good chunks of these rookies have seen the field already. You know what you're getting with them. So it's like a good spot to get them out there. But yeah, I agree, man. The lack of demand was way less than I really anticipated. I was thinking this was going to be one of the hottest baseball products of the year with that debut patch. But again, very few. I think somebody told me like I think there was 30 something patches, and I think like 9 or 10 of them have been hit. And I've seen a lot of this ripped. So the stock of what's available and left out there is not probably super high unless there's some ridiculously high print run that they didn't tell us about. But yeah, I'm really surprised that especially with the Volpe, like that nobody's pulled the Volpe yet. And like with that still being out there, you would think that there'd be those, you know, bounty chaser type people that would still be all over. Like, I'm gonna keep chasing until I see it get hit. Like, I'm just gonna keep loading up, keep loading up, keep loading up.
You're gonna make me buy a
So yeah,
case
man,
and post random teams.
Rip.
You're gonna make me
Let's do it.
talking me into it. Like,
Let's do it.
yeah,
Do it. Do it.
we're gonna do it. All right, Gilly, take us next.
All right. On to our last topic, Beckett has announced lower grading prices and lower turnaround times, as well as them announcing no changes to the grading scale, which we talked about before. So, just so you guys know, the $14 base is with no subgrades. They didn't really touch that at all. But everything else has seen at least a 20% drop in price value change. Some, you know how I feel about Beckett. Awesome that they're lowering their prices, staying more competitive. I'm still not grading with them.
Yeah, I'm same boat. Like, if it's a big card and it's a thick card, like I hit the CJ Stroud, 1 of 1 black finite RPA, where
There's no
priority
RPAs
service,
though.
huh?
No RPAs though.
You know what I mean?
RP.
Patch, whatever you want to call it, black finite RP. Something like
RP.
that, 2 to 3 day turnaround for $125, like, and I can get it right into the market real quick, maybe. But yeah, no, I agree, man. You're just bringing it down, honestly, to PSA Collectors Club levels, and this is about where you're at on PSA Collectors Club, $15 to $18 for a base, and then if it's an auto, it's $5 more, $6 more, $7 more, whatever. And yeah, I mean it's
Uh-huh.
cool, but fix the slab first. Don't worry about your grading scale. Fix the slab. Update the slab.
Yep.
Much else to say?
All right. So we're gonna go into our top 5 of the week. Then we're gonna head on up out of here. All right. So at number 5, we have the Jameer Gibbs RPA from Immaculate out of 10. I would have put this one higher. Problem is though, kind of hard to see the auto.
It's
I
there
don't
though.
know.
It is there.
It's
We can
there.
verify.
We can
It's
verify
there.
it's there, but it's kind of hard to see it. Don't know why Panini would have somebody draw blue on black, but
Yeah, it's like a
still,
fluorescent blue ink. Like, if you hold the card this way and shine it in the light, you can see it.
And like they have
yes,
markers that work like that. They exist.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't mean Panini
they
has
literally
it. I
do.
mean they exist on this planet. There's
It's called a Sharpie.
I mean, I don't what happened. So, like you tried to use blue pen on a black surface. Like I mean, what?
It's called Do a Baby Blue, not a dark blue,
Yeah.
literally. And then at number 4, we have the Jaron Hall 1 of 1 eye black RPA out of Immaculate. This guy could potentially see playing time this year if they don't draft a quarterback. So this could be this could be a sneaky card. Yeah, you see that? That's what is that? Is that blue ink on there? Now I'm looking at it.
No,
Is
Look
that
how
blue ink?
beautiful that signature is.
It's silver, but still,
What's wrong with silver? Why couldn't they use silver?
yeah, could have used silver. 100%. I agree. And then also at number 3, we have the Josh Downs Gold Etch Obsidian 1/10 jersey match. This is an absolutely insane sick card. Josh Downs, in my opinion, is one of the up and coming wide receivers in general. Him with Anthony Richardson is going to be a duo for years to come. So, yeah, no, I just like anything Obsidian, so it's sick. At number 2, we got the Will Levis Light Blue Disco Prism to 95 color match. I was looking at the value to this card and it was worth a lot more than I thought it was going to be just because he doesn't have the autos. He's another like Stroud Young. He didn't sign, so anything with color or a patch is going to sell well. And honestly, this is just a sexy card all around. And at number 5, we have at number 1, we have the JSN Color Blast Obsidian. Funny as hell about this card. I was like the CK. I was like, yo, the Color Blast you're gonna pull is JSN. CK did the case. No Color Blast came out of it. So CK, out of the kindness of his heart, gave out a free hobby box. Tom's the one that pulled the JSN. So I don't want to say I called the JSN Color Blast being pulled, but I called the JSN Color Blast being pulled. I called it.
You called it.
You called it.
Absolute sick card nonetheless. All right, and that's going to wrap it up for episode 27 of Beyond the Breaks. If you are watching on YouTube, please please leave a like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. It helps up with the algorithm a lot. If you're watching this on Facebook, we can't do this without each and every single one of you guys. We appreciate it. From me, from Tom, from Chris, have a great rest of your night, guys.